Dominique Gaillard, hello. I am extremely pleased to receive you today because we are together introduce a big announce. You are the president of France Invest, and you have been the general manager of Présidente, which is a major group in investments. You were at the beginning, and you have had a fantastic career. So to start, could you introduce and present France Invest?
Sure, thank you for inviting me, and I'm very pleased to be here today. France Invest, basically it's the organization, the association that regroups 334 members, which are the institutions which are active in France in private equity in general. Private equity, infrastructure, private debt.
So, Dominique, what is the private equity profession and what does it represent in the economy?
Well, private equity business is very simple. It's to invest in private businesses, not quoted one, private ones, either as a minority shareholder or a majority shareholder. And in each step of development of a company, meaning we invest in startups, we invest in venture capital, in development capital, growth expansion, and we invest in buyouts. And altogether, the 334 members, just to give you a picture of what we represent, invested last year around 40 billions of euros. So it's massive capacity to influence the economic changes in the economy in France.
Oh, definitely. And so we are going to speak about this chart that you have signed, you and your members.
That I've pushed the members to sign.
Yes, yeah. Very good. And this is a great information, knowing that mid-cap unlisted companies are not concerned by the quotas. And there was the idea to that the Loi Copé-Zimmermann was going to be extended to them, and this is no more actuality. So you...
Yes and no, I will tell you.
Okay, if you have information on that, it would be great. But you have, you investors, a real power of influence. If today you announce that you will more invest in companies where there are women, and you are going to do efforts in your own companies. Okay.
Well, maybe just first why we pushed our members to sign this chart. First, this chart is quite committing because the members who have signed it have signed on 30 commitments, and some of them I can give them to you later on. But we pushed that because we analyzed that over the last 10 years there was very little change in numbers of women in our profession first, and in the companies in which we invest. Just to give you one figure, in 2009 there were approximately 17% of women in the investment teams of our members. 10 years later, this 17% moved to 24%. If we consider the natural growth with the same ramp up, it will have taken us up to 2045 to obtain parity. So we thought that there was a necessity to push people to first analyze that we are late on this particular subject, and to promote some evolutions. And the same way in the companies that we are investing in, just to give you one number, there's on the survey that we made with BCG, there were 23% of women in the supervisory board or administrative boards of our companies. There were only 26% of women in the executive committees of this company, and there were less than 10% of women being the managing directors of this company. So here again, in terms of percentages, we are below the percentages for the global economy. So there was this necessity to make people conscious about this lack of movement, and that's why we promoted this chart. And we had, out of the 334 members, we had 80% of them signing the charts just before the COVID. So that was good timing.
And on the field, what concrete action is that going to lead?
Well, the quantitative commitments that these people took were that in the investment teams of our members, they committed that there will be 25% of women in investment committees, in the investment teams of our members by 2030 and 30% by 2035. The same way, they committed that there will be 30% of women in the executive committees of the companies in which we invest by 2030. And these are commitments that are going to be difficult to keep. So we are going to help them to keep these commitments, to respect these commitments.
So that makes 9 years, because we're arriving soon at 2021. Yeah. But they mustn't start in 2028.
No, that's for sure.
The actions must...
and we are going to measure the progression towards these commitments, towards this achievement, year after year. And that's a survey that France Invest is going to implement every year to be sure that we are on track to get this commitment achieved by 2030. Maybe one word on the Copé-Zimmermann law.
Yes,
Copé-Zimmermann law, as you know, was voted by the French Parliament in 2011, and progressively over 9 years was supposed to apply to every single company, the listed one first and the non-listed one afterwards. There is a caveat in the law, which is that the law, we are not obliged to respect it if the structure of our companies are SAS, Société Action Simplifiée. And in our field, there are a lot of SAS. So some of our members say, well, okay, fine, Copé-Zimmermann, we should apply the law in our companies if we had regular companies, but because we are under SAS, we are not committing to do so. And so I know that there is a law in preparation that will very probably take away this caveat and oblige also the SAS to respect the Copé-Zimmermann law. And so for our members, they already know that they have to find a lot of women to incorporate them on the boards of the companies in which they are. Just to give you a figure, there is a financial investor in 8,000 companies in France. So that's a lot of women being required to join the boards.
This is a fantastic news that we're going to share worldwide, because we think that a network like IWF and others could help these good intentions of these companies. So
we count on you.
So our job now is to meet and see how women can, in these networks, could help.
There's a lot of education to be done, and a lot of communication on these commitments. So any help we can get will be very welcome.
You can count on us. Thank you, Dominique, for this great interview.